and welcome back to Jeff and Joe's Puerto Rican Kitchen, where we show you how to make easy, authentic Puerto Rican recipes.
Today marks a special milestone in our channel. We are preparing a recipe that you, our viewers, have requested.
That's right. The people have spoken and we are delivering. A special shout out to Silo and Sabrina for their great suggestion.
So if there's something you want us to try, let us know in the comments below. We love experimenting in the kitchen with new recipes that will please you.
Definitely. So Jamari, what do the people want?
Today we are preparing the quintessential Puerto Rican one-pot meal, arroz con pollo, or chicken with rice, and it's just what it sounds like. Rice that's been flavored with sofrito, sazon, tomato sauce cooked together with perfectly seasoned chicken.
So delicious and, you guessed it, easy. This is the perfect recipe for a lazy weekend when you just don't want to do dishes.
Although some people can still find a way to fill up the sink on a one-pot meal.
What can I say? Real talent.
Very talented indeed, but he's cleaning up today, so let's get cooking.
Yo te traigo esta bomba puertorriqueña. Yo te la traigo de Cupey, de Vega Baja y de Santurce, de todas partes de Puerto Rico.
Start by preparing your chicken. Arroz con pollo can be made with literally any type of chicken. White meat, dark meat, bone-in, boneless, you name it. Here we're going to be using boneless chicken thighs that still have their skin on. Chicken thighs are less likely to dry out as you're cooking them, and I like to leave the skin on as it provides a lot of flavor and texture when you sear it properly. Our recipe calls for 6 thighs. Cut 2 of these into small pieces while leaving the other 4 whole. This way you'll be able to mix some of the chicken into the rice while still having some big pieces to cook on top of the rice. Now let's go ahead and get the chicken marinating. In a large bowl, combine your chicken, sofrito, adobo, and garlic. Mix thoroughly to ensure that your seasonings are evenly distributed throughout the chicken. Then go ahead and put your chicken back in the fridge, letting it marinate for 30 minutes to an hour. While your chicken is marinating, wash your rice. We show you how to do this in our original rice and beans video, but we want to revisit it here to talk about some of the finer points. If you've ever stuck your hand in a bag of rice, you might have noticed that the rice leaves a fine white powder on your hands. This powder is composed of free starches that have accumulated on the surface of the rice. And even though it's the same starch that rice is made out of, this starchy powder is bad news. Why? Because when you mix it with hot water, it turns into a thick paste. If you've ever used cornstarch to thicken gravy, it's exactly the same thing. And so if you leave this starchy powder on the rice while you cook it, it forms a paste and you can end up with what Puerto Ricans call arroz amogollado, or roughly translated into mushy rice. The key to washing your rice is to use your hand to scrape the grains of rice together while rinsing them with cold water. As you rub the grains against each other, you're scraping off the loose starch so the water can wash it away. Keep doing this until the water dripping off the rice is clear. Once that's done, go ahead and shake the rice to remove excess water. Next, transfer it to a clean bowl and combine it with a little bit of oil. Now, back to the chicken. Once the chicken is marinated, we want to start by searing it. Bring your pot up to medium heat and a little bit of oil. Next, take your whole chicken thighs and place them skin down in your pot. Placing it skin side down is super important, as we want the fat in the skin to start rendering out so you get a nice crispy surface. Once your whole thighs are in, go ahead and add your small pieces of chicken on top. Keep cooking your thighs on medium, checking from time to time to make sure they're not burning. Don't rush this stage. We want to give them plenty of time to cook so the fat fully renders out of the skin. This render fat will get incorporated into the rice, spreading that great chicken flavor throughout the dish. Once your skin has browned, go ahead and flip your thighs and brown the other side. Once browned, remove the whole thighs and place them on a plate. We'll add them back in once the rice has partially cooked. Now let's get the rice started. Your pot should still have the chicken pieces as well as a decent amount of chicken fat from the thighs. Turn the heat up to high and then add your sofrito and sauté for 2 to 3 minutes, stirring occasionally. Once the sofrito has reduced, add your tomato sauce, your sazon, your olives, and your salt. Stir to combine and let it simmer for another 2 to 3 minutes. Next, add your water and bring it to a boil on high. Once your water is boiling, add your rice and start a timer for 6.5 minutes. During this stage of the cooking, stir your rice from time to time, making sure to break up any clumps of rice that form. As your rice cooks, you'll notice the water level starts to drop. Once the water reaches the top of the rice, give it one last stir, then add your whole chicken thighs back on top of the rice, along with some red pimento peppers. Put your lid on and keep cooking on high until the 6.5 minutes are up. Then turn your stove down to low and let the rice cook for 20 minutes. Once the 20 minutes are finished, take your lid off and mix your rice. Start by moving your chicken thighs to a clean plate. Then fluff the rice, doing your best to not break up the rice grains more than necessary. Once fluffed, add your chicken back on top to serve. If your rice is still al dente at this point, just add a little water. Replace the chicken thighs and cook for another 5 to 10 minutes on low. Once your rice is cooked, you're ready to eat.
Well, there you have it, arroz con pollo.
Looks yummy.
Give it a try. You know, one of the great things about arroz con pollo is you can always make this recipe your own. For example, my mom and my sister only eat chicken breast, so my mom would always make sure to add some pieces of chicken breast in there. So I know some parents struggle with their kids eating their veggies. So I know some people kind of put in some frozen veggies, and that's a great way to sneak in some veggies in there. But what do you think?
So good. I'm really happy with it. The garlic in the marinade really comes through. I think searing it at the beginning is super important. So the fat renders out of the skin and you get this crispy skin with a juicy, tender chicken underneath, and it combines so well with the rice. Yeah, very, very happy with the dish. You guys should try it.
It's delicious. Another thing I wanted to mention is I know some people, they really like beans with their rice. My dad's one of them. And so totally a possibility. Put some beans on top of the rice. Go check out our video where we showed you how to do make rice and beans if you want to give that a try. But this was actually really fun.
Yeah. Thank you to CeeLo and Sabrina. Really appreciate the suggestion. We had a blast doing it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. If you liked it, please like our videos, subscribe to our channel. That way we can keep you in touch as we do more awesome Puerto Rican recipes.
Yeah, and give us some comments below. Maybe there are recipes you want us to try. We'd be happy to try them, or let us know how the recipe went for you. Would love to hear from you. And that's it. We'll see you again next week for the next episode of Jeff and Joe's Puerto Rican Kitchen.